Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Foreverloved Coaching Radio Show. I am Leah. As you will notice, my lovely co-host Travis is not here with us today. He is unfortunately has obligations now, so not able to do the show with me. However, my lovely friend and one of my amazing sponsors, Bob Tucker, who's a body harmonization practitioner, is here with me today to give us a demonstration on his harmonizations and to show us the science behind what he does. So thank you so much, Bob, for being here with us. We are super, super excited to have you here. And also before Bob starts just demonstrating his amazing healings that he does, I want to also thank my other lovely friend and sponsor, Jason Matthews, who is a compassionate power expert, and he works with men on toxic masculinity. And you can contact him if you're interested in finding out more about his program and what he has to offer. At the website is relatum.com/power. So thank you so much, Bob, for being here with us this evening. And if you want to just take a minute and introduce yourself and tell us how you are doing today.
Thanks so much for having me, Leah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so my name's Bob Tucker, and I'm a body harmonizer. Whoops. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, in the beginning, I like to say that I'm no doctor. I can't prescribe, I can't diagnose, I can't treat. I body harmonize. And what that is I ask for permission and cooperation from someone that I'm working with. The art of it, because we're going to be getting into the science a little bit, so I'm going to kind of mention a couple keywords now. So the art of it is I'm facilitating a session. So I get the permission and cooperation from someone, and that then initiates the connection then to them in grace. So that then allows us to work together, and it's only within their allowable reality, whatever belief systems, I respect all of those. And we just work with whatever terminology is appropriate between us. I find that every body harmonization is actually very customized for each person as we go through together. So what I'll do is I'll go through creating a worksheet, which will then go through all the body organs and systems, and it's a 2-page of how alive everything is. I'll get into more detail a little bit in our demo in a bit here. I'll just kind of keep summary here. And then that creates our roadmap together. And then I then go through that with whoever it may be. Say if it was you that, just to put a person on it, so we have a little bit more personalized here, is that then we then go through that with you. It takes about an hour or so. It depends on your questions. You have the floor. The idea of that part is to really make sure you understand that worksheet and what it really means. And what we get out of that is our lowest performing organs or systems. So we rate our bottom 5, and it's all about how alive everything is. Everything then gets into now with the science of it, which is very scientific. So it comes up with a specific number. We have a legend that we go through to say, okay, well, the brain came up to 45, and that is energy depletion, and then I would explain what all that means to make sure that everything then makes sense. And what I find during that part is then people perhaps may have never mentioned anything to someone before, and that's the first thing that pops. It goes, oh, how do you know that? You know, because it's very scientific. It just goes into the origin about what it is. There is no symptom chasing. Some people will mention things that are happening with them, and that's perfectly fine. But I don't use that as I just kind of put it off on the side a little bit. I go right to the origin, because somebody that has two, like one person has this symptom and another person has this symptom. If I'm chasing symptoms, it could, you never know where you're going to end up. So if you go to origin, both those people with totally different symptoms could actually be the same thing that could be happening.
So you get to the root of the cause versus just following the symptoms. So basically, sort of in Western medicine, doctors usually go to the symptoms, but if you're focusing more holistically to the root, and then you can actually heal it versus just cover up or mask the symptom. Okay. And so before you start that, just to help other people kind of understand the steps in the process for body harmonizations, for those people who have never had a harmonization done before, what is it that you need? So I know that when you've done harmonizations with me before, you know what I look like, but you've also still asked, in order to kind of focus the energy, a photo of myself so that those people can understand that you don't actually need to be, especially now during COVID times, you don't actually need to be with you. You can actually just have a photo of that person and or animal, because we both know that you can work on animals as well and do healing. So put that out there, because Bob can definitely do healings for animals as well. So you just need a photo. What else is it that you need from people?
Yeah, and just one thing to be careful when we're talking about, the word healing, because that gets to the doctor side of things. So that's why I always use harmonizing for that side of things. And this keeps me totally out of that medical space.
Yes, makes sense for liability reasons, for sure. 100%. Yes.
Yes. So it's not in my head, So I gotta be careful. But yeah, so basically I'm using the person's picture, the animal's picture. It's called the energy witness, technically, because the camera witnessed the energy of that person when the picture was taken. That's why when the first people went down to the Amazon and there was those natives there and they were taking pictures and they're capturing our soul. Well, that was actually very close depiction of what's occurring there. They weren't capturing anything. To them, I look at, oh my God, I've been captured. But they were on the right track, because it's like that is the energy witness. And yeah, that's a representation of you, all your atoms and everything all put together, forming this picture of image of you or the animal or whoever I'm working with. And that is then when I'm capturing what's called the energy sample from. And that then allows me then to connect up with you. And this same thing happens with the animal. The other thing that can happen too is that maybe someone doesn't have a picture. This has happened with somebody that is in the hospital. They don't have a picture right away. Now it's a lot easier because you have your cameras on phones and stuff like that. But I've been doing this for over 10 years, right? So, phones are very prevalent now, but especially if you were in the hospital, maybe you don't have that. I can just use the name. So someone can just say, here's the person's name, and then I can just capture the energy off the name as well. I like the picture because it's just a little bit more clear for everybody. And it helps when somebody's saying, yeah, I'm giving you my picture. But in emergency scenarios, I can just also go by the name, and someone could just write the name and then send that to me and email or snap it on the phone. And that works as well, because they are the witness to that person. When they wrote that name, that holds the energy of the person for me to grab that with. Okay. And that's what that all starts with. And it can be a baby picture, as our spirit is all time. It doesn't understand construct. That's a lower level thing, and what do you call it, creation. So what happens then? It could be a baby picture or something recent. So once if it's a picture that represents that person, that's all I need to work with somebody anywhere on the planet.
Okay. So why don't you, Bob, just keep chatting and share a little bit more about harmonizations.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. And that's the one thing I always wanted to talk about a little bit here. Was about the science of it. What I find is where people get into a question in their mind is, how can you work with me when I'm not there with you? Right? That's one of the main things that comes up. So that's why we thought we'd go into the science of it a little bit here. And that's what I have in front of me here is an instrument. The instrument that I work with is a subtle energy instrument. And so we talked about the art of it in the beginning. So I'm facilitating a session, but there's also the science of it as well. So then they all work together, and I'll pull everything together as we kind of go along, because art and science in union is pure power, pure peace, pure harmony. And as we are in union, and what's going to be happening over the next while as the new societal presence is, where the societal presence is changing a lot, you can see with what's around us and that sort of thing, is that on the other end of this, you'll see more union, less pieces and less fragmentation, right? And that's where we get into pure flow of us. And that's one of the things that I'm concentrating on with somebody is bringing their spirit more into form. If they're non-spiritual, I might not mention it quite like that, but I know you and your audience understand that. So just keep it in that context. And then when spirit comes into form, magic happens. And that's one of the key things in body harmonization, that we are achieving together. We're co-creating together. Once you've given your permission, we're working together. And I'm what's called the green dream pilot, a guide. You're doing work, right? And that's the whole thing as well, right? You're taking responsibility for yourself too. And then as we're going through the body harmonization process, then alignment can occur, that then spirit is coming more directly into form. And that is when the magic really happens. I really love when I can really get a great connection with someone, or their allowable reality is allowed to be in a huge expansiveness. And I could spend a lot of time during the beginning process of going through the worksheet with someone, because I want to get them in a relaxed, trusting state. Trust is earned. So you can start here, and then you'll go here, and maybe you jump here, whatever happens, right? So then once we get those gates opened up, then the magic can be allowed to occur more. And that's where, once I can feel the person, that's where we get into the art now. I'm going to flip back and forth a little bit now. And the art of it that's where the mastery comes in, is then connecting up to somebody. And then there's this great magic that occurs. And if I'm able to have the trust to touch the shaft of light, the fabric of spirit, that is where the magic can really occur.
And that is so true in any type of work, whether it's counseling, coaching, psychic readings, what Bob does, body harmonizations, having that trust and feeling safe in that moment with that person is pure gold, because we need to have your permission to enter your energy field and to work with you. And the more open you are, the more receptive you are going to be energetically, physiologically, and emotionally to allow us to do our work. So I really am glad that you brought that up to the audience, Bob, because it is really important, that trust and that sense of safety. And I've had many harmonizations done with Bob, so I can 100% attest to his level of ethics and respect, and how he really honors the body and as he says, your form, and just in general, your energy, and has a deep respect for what he does, which is truly, truly important, hence why he's on the show. So, because I have a complete respect for him and what he does. So thank you again, Bob. And Bob is going to do, I'm very grateful, a body harmonization on me as well. And he's going to show us a deeper look into the science with the instruments and the things that he uses. And I will tell you that I understand spirituality and energy, and we've had many conversations about what Bob does. And each time I talk to him, I continuously learn more what he does, because it's very intricate and there's a lot to what he does. So I'm excited to kind of see more at a deeper level what he does when he works with me. And I can tell you, because I'm super sensitive to energies, and I can pick up things given my mediumship and having all of the clairs and intuitive empath and all of that, my sensitivities. When Bob's working on me, he won't even tell me the time that he's working on me. And I'll text him and he'll be like, did you just start working on me like the next day? And he's just like, yes, I did. And I'm like, I can feel you in my throat right now doing your work. And he'll be like, yes, I'm in your throat right now. So if you're someone like myself and you do get a harmonization from Bob and you're super sensitive, you'll be able to tell when he's working on you.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Even when I'm doing the worksheet, as I'm touching every part of somebody, right? So I just kind of like Tinkerbell, kind of like doing some fairy dust along the way, It's like, I think I just felt you inside me, It's kind of interesting what happens. So the key thing is, let's see if I can kind of turn the camera down a little bit here. I'm just looking at the other picture that other people see online here, just so I can kind of, sorry for moving the camera around a lot, but I just kind of wanted to show a little bit,
No worries.
And so that should work out there, because it's showing my hands and everything here. So as you saw, I was kind of holding these tweezers here. So the body has an energy field. So what the tweezers do is, when I'm touching files, it's like a sterility thing, right? So I want to keep everything sterile. So the energy field kind of stops around here on my hand, the densest part, and then thus when I'm grabbing the vials, let's see, It's in the camera here. Here we are. Sorry, I just have to make sure I'm in shot properly. So this is a vial of distilled water, technically, okay? Water, crystalline structure, holds an infinite amount of frequencies. I've never run into any limitations with it. If I'm working with someone with parasites, this vial of parasites will be every parasite known and every part of the life cycle of that parasite, egg, larva, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So it just holds a lot of information inside of the water. So I realize that we're kind of have only half an hour here, so I'm just going to kind of go through it as quickly as I can here. So what I do is I take my transfer vial, and then what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to neutralize this vial. So now another thing that I do here is I need to touch the picture of the person that I'm working with. So I have a probe, so I put that in there as well, because we're going to neutralize everything. So that neutralizes the water inside of here and opens everything up then at that point. So then what happens then is that now I'm ready to go. So now I have your picture already here. I just kind of propped everything, got it ready to go here because I knew that we're going to be, pressed for time here. So there we go. That's all that's needed for that part of it. I've captured your energy. And then what I do is I just make sure that I just always check my work, right? So yes, energy is flowing through it. That's what I'm doing here. And I'm doing my fingers here. If there's no stick, that means that it's flowing nicely and everything's flowing good. So now what we do then is we have the final vial. That's going to be for you. And then we put that in here and we neutralize that because you want everything clear. I don't want anything in the water. I want no information. I want it totally available for only what I'm going to be putting in with it. Now, it shows difference to what I do with other people, that other people can do is that I'm capturing now everything that you are. So your subtle bodies as well. You're more than just physical form. That's what I'm going to be doing now as I put both of these together. So I'm merging your energy, your physical, biological, and mental structure. It's all together here, emotions, everything. And then I'm putting it all together. And then it's like, poof, there we go. It's very quick, right? Creation's very simple. It is the human mind that makes things complicated, right? So ascension, a lot of it is unlearning things. It's getting out of blocks and everything for that. So voila, I now have your file ready to go. So I know that.
Can I ask you a question, Bob? So the blue on your table, what you're working on, that blue square, what does that represent? So what does that like kind of neutralize the energy? What exactly does that do?
That flows energy through it. So as I'm spinning this dial over here, that's moving the intensity up. Okay, so it's going up. That's where I'm getting my numbers from, the 45, the 122s, all those numbers that I give you. That's how I'm getting these numbers. There's a display on here that tells me the number. So there's no information. The instrument says this is what it is. It's non-biased, doesn't have any belief systems. It just tells me what it is. That's why the work is also so accurate. And then as this is going up, I'm also on the stick plate, because then as I'm going through and you have both fingers, and then with both fingers, then becomes neutral. Positive, negative, right? So positive, negative is neutral. That's why I'm using two fingers. So I'm in a neutral state. And if I'm getting really polarized, I put my hands together and really concentrate and say, thank you. And in gratitude, I then neutralize myself as well. I want to keep neutral. And I can tell very quickly, because I've been doing this for a long time, if I'm out of that state. So this tells me that we are then going through and energy's flowing through things. And then once we get to a stick, then it's saying that, okay, let's stop now. So what I'm going to do first is I want to see your general vitality. So what I do is I keep going up and I keep going and dial up the intensity. This is from the immune system viewpoint. Okay, it's going to stick there. So that is about 168. So that's what I'd write down on the sheet for you when you see those numbers coming back. It's 168. That's your general vitality.
Is that good? Is that a good vitality?
Yeah, that's that range that basically says that your body's upkeeping itself, because we've been working together a long time, right?
Yes.
So you've gotten up there, and that's what I find is people get up in vitality. So everything starts in that low range, which is energy depletion, then no excess energy, the 50 through 100. Then the 100 to 200 is the body starting to upkeep itself, and you're in that 150 range, which is really good, right? Mm-hmm. That's basically the way I start with, is that's my baseline. That's my scientific baseline for you. That's the science of it now at this particular point, right? Okay. And you're saying that you're having that skin burn, right? So yes. I can zoom in right in on something, right? So any part of your body. So this is skin. I'm just doing something quick here, right? So I can zoom in on a specific part of your skin if I want to, but I'm just going to keep it to skin in general. And then it's your right area, your right arm. So I just use the right, and there we go. There's right skin, so I'm zoomed in on it. If I want to get down to a specific lymph node, I can get into that specific vibration. It's called location condition, and that hones in on the specific vibration that tells me that's a lymph node. And what it's vibrating at tells it what it is in creation. That's the beauty of subtle energy, is everything starts in energy and then condenses into physical form. I'm working at that subtle energy level, right down into the chi even. Okay, so now we're there. So now it's like, okay, well, we have a stressor called burns. You said it's a burn, right? So yes, there's all different types of burns you can have here in different states of a burn. And there we go. There's all the burns. That is one of the key differences that this instrument can do than others. I also authorized to sell this instrument as well. So we're dipping into training a little bit is what happens here. It's like 3 days of training that comes with this. Okay. So now it's burns for the right skin side of your body. So now we're going to go in now, and we're going in, we're seeing what the resonance of everything is. And we're going to match it in the resonance match, and then that releases it. This harmonizes it. Mm-hmm. That's what we're basically doing here. So we're dialing up, we're finding the intensity of the burn. And this is what I'm doing.
Bob, would you say, because I'm very sensitive to energy, so the moment Bob started working on me, I'm noticing I'm starting to get tired. And every time he works on me, my energy I get even more fatigue. So would you say that that's common for people as well, is to kind of have certain types of energetic feelings or even maybe emotional feelings after harmonization?
That's an excellent point, Leah, because what's happening, that says to me that we're working well together. That means we did some work together. And what happens now is the body kicks in and goes, oh, I can deal with this now. Because once the stresses are released, like the human body didn't have any stressors, the human body could live up to 200-300 years old. It's the stressors that are holding us. It's this modern society that's holding us down, right? So what happens is that in this case here, your burn's holding down that area of the skin, right? So now what's happened is your immune system's kicked in and saying, oh, I can deal with this now. And then that gets you tired. And that's what I say to people, take strategic naps. Especially if it's the first harmonization we're doing together. And I take it easy on people for the very first harmonization. See how everything happens. Everyone's different, and I honor them completely from that viewpoint. So in your case here, burns were 115, so that's pretty high for a stressor, right? Holding its own pretty good. Not so good with a stressor, but for you, of course, was okay. So what that told me there is that the burn is as alive as you are. So that's how strong it is in there. So this then harmonizes the burn. And now we have, there we go. So now the burn has then been harmonized. And I have other vials. We're running out of time here. But I have other vials here that will then get released locks and other things that can be holding in the burns as well. So there's more to the harmonization process. This is all we have time for today. But this shows you the science of it. And I'm facilitating the session. So then it gets into the art of it, which then is gratitude. So I start with gratitude, I end with gratitude. And as I say to you all the time, for this and so much more, I give thanks.
Yes. Yes. And yeah, Bob is awesome with his blessings. I love that I wake up in the morning with like beautiful blessing messages from him. So thank you so much, Bob, for taking the time to be on the show with me and for demonstrating a little bit of the science behind your harmonizations. And I do want to say that Bob doesn't just do, as we've mentioned previously, he doesn't just do harmonizations for health, but he does relationship and abundance harmonizations as well. So definitely feel free to reach out to Bob. You can reach him at see, I'm so tired now and relaxed that I can't even speak. So you can reach him on his website at Harmonic Solutions, creativeharmonicsolutions.com. See, he's chilled out my body so much that I can't even speak, which is pretty not common. So you know that he did his work when I can't talk. So thank you again so much, Bob. I really appreciate it. And for those of you who want to reach out to me, I do have a new moon reading special as well right now. So if you want to reach out to me at Leah Nevers at foreverlovecoaching.com or on Foreverlove Coaching on Facebook, you can reach out to me and book a reading as well. And with that sense of gratitude that Bob is speaking of, thank you so much all for being here with us. And if you could go out there this week and every day think about something that you are grateful for and that you want to manifest into your life, especially in this new moon energy. Thank you so much for everyone for being here with us. And thank you again, Bob, and my awesome, amazing sponsor, Jason Matthews, as well. Thank you so much for being a sponsor. You can reach him at relatum.power.com. Thank you so much. And you guys have a great night. And I'm going to rest because I can't even speak anymore because Bob's relaxed me so much. So thank you so much, Bob.